So you just got FL Studio or any other DAW and you slowly start to realize that initial purchase was just the tip of the iceberg. You can't open a random tutorial because they start throwing you to death with these $100 plugins you will need to survive. Is that fair? As a tutorial guy myself, it is really funny, but do you need all those fancy plugins to make good music? The short answer, nope. Honest answer? Yeah, kind of. Welcome to the video. Hey, I'm your host Sour, and today I might save you a couple of bucks, or cost you a couple of bucks. It's complicated. Most DAWs feature quite an extensive list of generators like synthesizers and samplers, and a ton of effects like effects. Some DAWs, upon first opening, show you some really cool projects made with 100% stock plugins. And while this looks inspiring and almost like an easy conclusion to this video, have you ever tried making a cool sound in any of those featured plugins? Name one guy you know who understands Citrus. I get sound design and music production in general are complicated. However, most stock synthesizers in general do not exactly feel user-friendly. And the further you start to deep dive into your musical specialty, the more your DAW starts to let you down. A DAW isn't optimized to produce any kind of genre with ease. It is a tool to fit most people's basic needs. And just like with cars or whatever the fuck you're into, there isn't exactly a one-size-fits-all solution. Third-party plugins can be optimized for specific uses and genres. This could be just a time saver, in the sense that you can do it in a stock DAW, but this plugin saves you a bunch of clicks. Or it is specialized and this plugin can do something that is either really hard to pull off in stock plugins or even impossible. And I hate the word impossible unless it's immediately followed by Ghost Protocol, but sadly, sometimes this is the case. However, there are more and more companies who release excellent plugins for free, and some websites even have excellent top 5 or 10 lists on whatever you need. Is it necessary? Do you value your time? Because then, yes! Learning to do a trick in a plugin that is not optimized for it, compared to using a specialized piece of equipment, is infinitely harder and may get you close to what you want, instead of getting exactly what you want. Learning this can be more of a pain than paying full price in some cases. If you are patient and not as result-oriented as most of us, however, you may find joy in an overly tedious process, and it is definitely quite the accomplishment to brag about. Just like everything else in life, no tool is the best tool. It just needs to suit the job. Sure, maybe an F1 is way faster, but if you need to do some off-roading, that fancy thing becomes dead weight. And sure, maybe your all-wheel drive is great off-road, but impossible to park in your street. I'm comparing fucking apples to cars here, but I'm sure this clicked for some of you. Hey, drop a like if you can name like 5 cars. I have some paid plugins I cannot produce without. Or maybe can, but I wouldn't like it as much. Serum is in my opinion the best way to learn sound design. And fuck, it is versatile in ways I'm still figuring out. Silent One is just a must-have for leads, and my ample sound guitars are irreplaceable when I need a rock or metal touch to my songs. But all of that is personal priorities. Vital is a free synth that can do a lot Serum and Silent One have to offer. I just don't like the workflow and its confusing fucking interface. The guitars? Okay, I don't know any free alternative that sounds this good. But how many of you would actually use it in enough songs to justify the price? You pay whatever convenience is important to you, and you don't for stuff you are willing to compromise on. Before I tell you all about free plugins, let me borrow you for a minute to tell you music production can be a bit overwhelming. If you are interested in personal guidance in private sessions where I tell you all you want to know, hit me up on Fiverr. I'm genuinely passionate about making you a better producer, as the reviews suggest. If you have any questions before committing, my inbox is always open. And for the dedicated amongst you, I also offer a free trial sessions to make sure my methods click for you. Back to the video. This is where there may be some light at the end of the tunnel. While so far this video may have sounded like me trying to bankrupt you in the shortest time possible, there are a lot of resources in all categories of plugins which are either totally free or kindly ask you for a skippable donation. Are these plugins as good or user-friendly as the paid stuff? Honestly, yeah, sometimes. With equalizers there are no free alternatives that are as versatile or powerful as FabFilter Pro Q3, Ozone 11 or Waves F6. However, there are a bunch of free EQs that have some of those features. If you know what you need, you can probably make do with one or two of those. For example, I really enjoy TDR Nova, a free EQ with a dynamic feature, as well as mid-side and more. It lacks linear phase, the Parametric EQ2 has that, so why bother? Is it as instinctive to use as FabFilter? No, not at all, but if I need a dynamic EQ, this sure does the trick. And I think this specific example is very telling. Are you willing to compromise ease of use, or do you rather pay a lot to save yourself a couple of clicks? I don't judge you for not downloading more plugins. I don't judge you for downloading a lot of them. I do judge you for downloading shit you don't understand the bare basics from, but that's me. Also, this is quite a personal journey and features I find important may mean nothing to you, or vice versa. My priorities are not the same as yours and that is okay. It sounds like I wrote this hippie shit while high, but I'm somewhat sure that this is not the case. At some point, if you are hauling lumber every day, you may need to upgrade your smart car to a pickup truck. And if you waste hours every day because it's hard to park a fucking pickup truck in a city center, you might also need to consider a change. Neither tool is a better tool, it just needs to be applied to the right job. And if you go with just one, you will need to compromise. I'll leave a pinned comment with my favorite free plugins and what they can be used for. And I encourage anyone to reply or comment your favorites. Of course, we'd also love to hear your favorite paid game-changing plugins, and general questions or video suggestions are of course more than welcome. It was a true pleasure to be your host once again. Until we meet again.